Sometime later, after Cooler appeared, Goku and Vegeta. That's what it says in my script. I'm gonna leave that in the video. Goku and Vegeta appeared and told everyone about the Tournament of Destroyers, and that they need a total of 5 fighters to fill their ranks. The starting roster was quite obvious. Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan were the strongest 3 as of this very moment, with Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan 4. But who would the next contestant be? Tishi explains that she has college and a job, and that she just made the excuse that she got into an accident not too long ago to fight Cooler. How the hell was she supposed to pass school and keep her job if she kept being pulled out of both to fight? And while this was true, Vegeta then pointed out that she can just get a job at Cap Support, who can pay her more money, very biased bonus, makes her save 50% or more on car insurance, and the excuse to leave to fight and train. Which makes a lot of sense. It pays to have connections, doesn't it? The next choice was between the CPU's Raditz and Nappa. Raditz and Nappa could use Super Saiyan 3, making them stronger than the CPU. However, Neptune said that if they wanted to go into the time chamber, she could unlock her super special awesome form, which made the other CPUs argue that they would like to go instead, because they can also use the super special awesome form. However, this made Pluty Patootie very angry. So please step on me. This made Madame Goddess slam her foot down and told them all to sit the fuck down. She would be taking the 5th slot, and everyone immediately felt bad for Universe 6. It was not going to be a pretty time. Spoiler alert. After that, everyone had 3 days to prepare. So Goku suggested the hyperbolic lion tamer. It should be noted that Vegeta, Tishi, and Plutia have not been there before. But Goku and technically Gohan have. Let me explain. You see, Goku trained with Neptune before the Android Saga, where Neptune learned HDD, if you recall. Gohan had gone in between the events of Cooler and Part 2, which happened off screen. I didn't explain that to you, but that's where Gohan learned Super Saiyan 4. That's why he looks like an adult. Which was done the GT method, by the way, because we are GT Super Saiyan 4 fans in this household. However, Gohan had been there before by technicality. Also remember that Neptune got pregnant with Gohan while they were in the time chamber. Now, for the sake of plot, I'm going to say that this doesn't count towards Gohan's time in the chamber, but you could make a technicality that Gohan can't go in there for a full 2nd year because he would have spent a couple months pregnant. He wouldn't have been pregnant. He was inside Neptune for a couple months while she was pregnant with him in the time chamber. This is very hard to explain, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. With that, let's move on, shall we? The first day, Goku trains with Vegeta, using the rest of Goku's time. The second day, Pishi trains with Iris Heart, who she actually has no problem with, really. Remember that most of Pishi's childhood was spent with Iris Heart. So, yes, Mommy Iris Heart is actually canon. Anyway, Gohan trains with Vegeta, using both of their remaining years left. That would be the end of their 3 days of training. After this, though, Kami decides that he will fix this. He gathers the Dragon Balls and makes himself younger like King Piccolo did in the cast, which we didn't cover in this What If, because nothing before or during that point was changed. He then decides that not only will he upgrade the Time Chamber, but he'll do some training of his own. We'll get back to that some other time. Ignoring that, though, the group heads onto the Universe 67 tournament. I'll show you a ranking of the characters at the end of the video, if I remember. Comment if I forget. Anyway, the first round is Iris Heart versus Botamo. And, well, I would love to tell you about how this fight goes, but unfortunately, we have a sadist versus someone who can't take a lot, if any, harm. So, I won't go into any details for censorship purposes, but Botamo leaves with mostly emotional damage. Afterward, Iris goes after Frost. Frost, after seeing the last display, goes straight into his final form, third. Iris teases him and then begins to beat the shit out of him with her heels and whip, which would be allowed since she's technically materializing the weapon instead of bringing it onto the field. Eventually, Frost would turn into his actual final form, which only made the goddess lick her lips in return. Irisheart dodged Frost's death beams, and as if mocking him, fired some of her own, piercing both of his legs. Injuries don't matter as long as he wasn't dead, right? She was toying with him, making him work for his attack, which was an energy beam that grazed Irisheart's arm. After that, though, when Frost tried to rush her with that punch, the one with the poison needle, she kicks him in the jaw, the judo style, and then grabs his leg, slamming him out of the arena. Poor Frost. And then, of course, after Frost, we have Magetta, and, do I even need to talk about this one? Next is Irisheart versus Kaba. This one is quite easy for Iris to win as well, and for the most part, she's perfectly fine, if not a little worn out from the increased heat of Magneto. However, this means that Kaba doesn't turn into a Super Saiyan, as rather than being angry, he is more so disturbed and off guard. Kaba is actually a competent fighter, but unfortunately he just isn't anywhere near Irisheart's level. Remember that HDD is a Super Saiyan level boost. Afterwards, Irisheart fights against the man, the assassin. Irisheart scoffs. This whole tournament has been a breeze. She overtrained for this. I mean, she could have just stayed at home and been cozy in her snuggie, but no, she has to deal with this bullshit. However, in a matter of seconds, Irisheart grunts as she feels a massive amount of pain through her body. She growls and fires a few beams from her finger, but she doesn't see Hit move as he hits her in all of her pressure points. I mean, all of them. Between her tiring out over the tournament and Hit's raw power advantage, Irisheart quickly drops back down to Plutia very quickly, which, for some people, might be a good thing. Gohan quickly scoops up his aunt, and the siblings glare at it. It was a tournament, yeah, but to see their Auntie Plutie get knocked unconscious in less than a minute was aggravating to the half-breeds. After Plutia's defeat, Gohan stepped up. Gohan wasn't sure how to go about this, and he'll just try to test the waters in his base form to conserve energy. However, Goku quickly tells him that's not the best idea. This is our last fighter, and he beat Iris pretty quickly. Gohan nods and turns into a Super Saiyan 2. He's quickly overwhelmed in the first 30 seconds though, and tries to keep his distance with Ki Blast. This doesn't work either though. Gohan then powers up to a Super Saiyan 3, and although he's taking the hits better, he's still overwhelmed by what appears to be his raw speed. Doesn't understand. Jocko would then reveal that he's using a time skip. Yes, Jocko is in this situation, this scenario. I just never saw the point of bringing him up before. And Hit would also confirm that he can skip time. His beat-off is unskippable. Anyway, Gohan transforms to a Super Saiyan 4 after that. Now as a Super Saiyan 4, Gohan tells Hit to come at him. And so Hit does, hitting Gohan a number of times. This time, Gohan braced himself to take all the attacks, before landing a devastating blow to his body, followed by a flurry of lesser but much quicker attacks. He then tries to swing a hit at Hit's head, but Hit uses his time stop to dodge the hit and land another flurry of hits. How many times can I say hit in a single sentence? Gohan is stronger than Hit, but Hit attacks pressure points and was using time skip. Not to mention, between the damage he took from Super Saiyan 2 and 3, and tanking damage as Super Saiyan 4 to counteract Hit's time skip, Gohan eventually falls unconscious. He starts counting down. Then, Gohan wakes up, jumping and yelling, "I got you!" and gut punching Hit harder than he's ever been hit before. Gohan then fires a point-blank Kamehameha, which flies right past the Universe 6 stands, nearly hitting their God of Destruction. However, after the blast dissipates, Gohan receives a blow to the back of the neck. His blast had missed, hit just barely. He jumps out of Super Saiyan 4 to his base form. Nice attempt, but fortunately just not good enough. Next is Vegeta, the third strongest on the team. I know what it is. Now, unlike the manga, Hit is injured, and Vegeta is not exhausted. And Vegeta knows Hit's technique. So, Vegeta turns to a Super Saiyan God rather than a Super Saiyan Blue. Now, I should note in my what ifs, I make Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan 4 have the same multiplier of 100 times Super Saiyan 3. However, Gohan was weakened by fighting in Super Saiyan 2 and 3 first. But not only that, Vegeta's base form is higher than Gohan's due to him training with Whis. Vegeta quickly defeats Hit with an explosive wave, which Hit can't dodge, and wins the tournament. And there you have it for this part. I gave Vegeta a win against the dildo. Did you predict everything that was going to happen? Did you think I was going to give Mommy the main role? Honestly, I was going to give, originally, I was going to give Neptune her new next form. But, I kind of stopped and thought about it. And if I did that, she wasn't going to get any screen time realistically. So, it's been a while since Pluty has done anything in this what if. So, I said, fuck it, right? Let's do it. So, yeah, this will obviously have effects for the Universe 67 tournament, or not 67. This will have effects for the Goku Black Arc, with end quotes, in the Tournament of Power. I also want to remind you that this is based off the manga, so Hit doesn't just randomly get power increases. That's anime bullshit. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this part. It might be coming out early on Patreon. I'm debating it. I mean, regardless, you're not going to be seeing it for, like, another 2 weeks, until after Part 3 was uploaded. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.